Right, good evening, everyone. It's been a while since we had these prediction shows rolling out, but we've got three huge fights, three huge main events that we could not miss this week. The boys are back together. Jay, Liam, going to be a fun one. How are we, boys?
I'm good, man. Excited for the weekend. Glad to be back with the boys, doing what we do best. Talking shit about fights. Probably getting our predictions wrong. But this is what we do, man. This is what we do.
Well, Liam, before I come to you, Jay, don't be talking about wrong predictions. You're still rolling in it from Crocker Donovan 1, but we'll
Shut up, man. Mrs. is in earshot. He's lying, he's lying.
We'll come back to it. Liam, I'll kick off with you, mate. Paddy Donovan disqualified in the first fight, as we know all too well. I've watched the build-up shows. I watched it again. Obviously, when we did the watch-along for the first fight, we couldn't hear the bells. We didn't really know what was going on. We thought that he'd been chinned by Donovan Crocker, but correct decision, really. It was a long time after the bell. But I think they're both lucky in a way. There's a huge narrative into this fight. It's gone from the arena to the National Stadium this time around. I mean, Paddy Donovan is in the Lions' Den, but he's going to go in as a huge favourite. Look, we discussed it yesterday on your show. 6 months is not a long time, so yeah, the both of you just give me your outline, and then we'll get into the predictions.
I mean, I will say that Paddy Donovan. Good evening, Hawkan. Thanks for joining us. I think that from today's antics, Paddy Donovan deserves to start on -2 points for having cornrows.
Yeah.
Tiny little fucking man bun. Turn it in, kid. I mean, I had those years ago. Wish I could have them now, but I'm jealous. Look, I mentioned it yesterday on No Punches Pulled. Common sense would tell you that Paddy Donovan just needs to do exactly the same or similar to what he did in the first fight and keep Crocker at bay. Don't engage too much. Try not to get drawn in. And his boxing skills just better. His footwork's better. His punch selection's better. He's just better. Or he was on that night, right? But I said something last night, and I noticed it in the build-up this week. He's been so obnoxious. Now I don't know whether that is to just try put Crocker off, or whether he's being dismissive. And if he is, then I believe it'll be a totally different fight.
Yeah, shades of Carl Froch in the first George Groves fight. Liam, I genuinely feel Jay's onto something there. Donovan does look like he just needs to turn up a win, which is dangerous, but they look like a goal for class in March between the two.
Yeah, they did look like a goal. Yeah, sorry, I was just going to say that could be the issue, couldn't it? We saw what happened in Froch Groves 1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, look, if this was the first time they fought and this was how Paddy was turning up, then yeah, that narrative, you go, is his eye off the ball? I mean, yes, Paddy Donovan was disqualified in March, but from what we actually got in terms... Rightly so, yes, but from what we saw in the ring, of course, he's going to be exuding confidence going into this weekend. I do hope his character is always quite bubbly. He likes to be on the edge. He likes to try and niggle with his opponent in a fight week. So it's not out of character for him. So I hope this is just Paddy Donovan being Paddy Donovan. But the questions more lie with Billy Nelson and Lewis Crocker, don't they? What can they do? What can they change to arrest the tide? Because, yes, he was rightly disqualified, but that late punch at the end of round 8 done them a favour, because as we touched on last night, they were pretty much resigned in that corner to defeat. And the question was, is he going to see out the final bell, or is he going to be stopped down the stretch? So more questions lie in the Crocker corner. Look, it's a massive event. It's a massive fight. You've got a world title on the line and all the ramifications that will come for either man of being world champion. But for me, we would have to see something quite drastic change in both Crocker and Donovan. I still believe that if Paddy Donovan has an off night and Lewis Crocker's level's the same as it was in March, Paddy still wins the fight. It's probably closer than it would be if he turns up, but I just think he's still got a bit more in him. Whereas if he doesn't turn up and Lewis is on it, it's a completely different fight.
Yeah, Jay, I watched the finishing segment, shall we call it, earlier, and I actually think that Crocker buzzed. When he was going out on his shield, wasn't he?
Throwing it all at him.
He was, and I actually think he kind of buzzed. Don't get me wrong, Donovan just walked through it.
Stunned him, didn't he? Definitely stunned him.
But it was interesting. So I do think that Crocker does have the power to, but he's got to land the shot first, hasn't he? That was the issue in March.
And I don't think Paddy will give him the opportunities to land that, because that is his best chance of winning the fight, is to get a stoppage by hurting Paddy, overawing him. and getting him out of there. And as you guys have said, 6 months to change something is not long enough to have it ingrained, to it become second nature, for it to become natural. So I think even if he does have a change of tactic, Crocker, he's going to be awkward because he's going to be out of sync. He's not going to be as comfortable with his normal rhythm if he's trying something different, and that could make it even worse for him. But it has to change something because, as we've said, Donovan can just turn up and box the same as he did last time. And if Crocker isn't significantly better, then that fight goes 11-1, 10-2, 12-0, whatever it was, or would have been. I think we'll know within the first couple of rounds the play of the fight by the way Crocker starts the fight.
I think so. I do think I don't like Lewis's body language in the, one fighter looks like he's got the other one beat, and that doesn't mean to say that the result's going to go that way, but Lewis does look, and even in the first presser and then in that second circle face off he can't. It's kind of like Paddy looks like he's got his number.
Paddy said to him, didn't he? He said, "You fucked." He said, "You fucked."
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
and he never reacted. But
there
was no reaction, was there? Lewis kind of just stood there, and you expect even if it was a little step forward or something, there was nothing from Lewis. He was very passive. Yeah. I mean, look, Andy Lee is a calm enough head in that corner to not allow Paddy to run away with himself from that first fight. That's the other thing here. You've got a very calm man in Paddy's corner, but he is walking into a cauldron. If 8,500 at the SSE was, big enough, you're doubling that near enough this time, aren't you? That's a big crowd for him to walk into. And we know Lewis Crocker feeds off of atmosphere. Billy Nelson said it to us. He's one of his fighters that needs a raucous atmosphere. So, look, loads of things on the night. I think it's meant to be wet and horrible on Saturday night as well. So that's going to add another layer to it, isn't it? Within walking into that sort of atmosphere. It's a cracking fight. I also can't believe this is the first time we've had an all-Irish world title fight. I mean, all the Irish fighters through the years in boxing, and we've never had one before. It's a historic night, and hopefully this time on Sunday morning when we're reviewing it, we're talking about a conclusive victory and not slagging off a referee or trying to work out how we got to the point of victory that we did.
Yeah, well, as you say, Liam, the vacant IBF Welterweight Championship's on the line now. Boots Ennis has moved on. Pat's given us a prediction. We'll get into ours now. Pat thinks 8 to 10 round for Paddy Donovan. Me and Jay, I think, went with Crocker in the first one. So as I said last night, we got it right. I'm gonna go the other way this time. I personally think Paddy Donovan is a level above. Look, will lightning strike twice? It's very doubtful, isn't it? How often do we see things like that happen in the ring? That's what set the narrative for this fight. That's what's made it so. Well, it's a big fight, isn't it? So, but yeah, I think Paddy Donovan's gonna stop him. I do think there's a goal for class. I know what I saw in March. I would be surprised if Crocker wins. I honestly think he'll ice him. It'll just be something like that. He's not going to outbox Paddy over there.
No.
So the safe play for me would be probably where Pat is made just at some point a stoppage for Paddy Donovan's where I'm at.
Okay, I'm sticking with my original pick from the first fight, but I think there is going to be some controversy. As I said last time, I think there was controversy. I've got a feeling that Paddy Donovan's going to. I think he's going to get injured. I think we're going to see Paddy Donovan get pulled out of this fight around 8 to 10 with some form of injury, be it shoulder or an arm injury. I think he's going to be teeing off on Crocker, and I think he's going to overextend himself. I know I always pick random stuff, but I've just got a funny feeling. We heard that one of them was injured. It was meant to be Crocker. Then I'm hearing it's Donovan. Right shoulder. He's had issues with it before. I've got a funny feeling he's going to be teeing off. He's going to overextend. He's going to hurt himself. He's going to try pull through it for a couple of rounds. He ain't going to be able to defend himself. And I see his corner pulling him out of there between rounds 8 and 10. TKO Crocker.
So we got Hawk and myself and DJ Pat on the same wavelength. JFT's gone the reverse, but similar timings. Liam, where we at? I know you were big in the first fight, weren't you, on Paddy winning?
Yeah, I see a similar outcome, just obviously minus the indiscretions this time from Paddy. I think he'll use his boxing through the first half of the fight, and as Crocker tires and becomes more desperate, kind of the way the first fight was going, he'll pick him off and get a stoppage for me. I'll go between 8 and 10. I said it yesterday, and it's what Pat said tonight. I think round 8 to 10, Paddy Donovan stoppage victory.
Okay, then so it's quite a common theme amongst the chat and with us. We think it's going to be in between that kind of zone of 8, 10, whatever it may be. But look, it's going to be brilliant. We'll be watching it on Saturday night. We're back shortly for Canelo and Crawford. Then we'll do Inoue versus MJ, the 2 undisputed fights this weekend. super middleweight and super bantam. Cheers to Jay, Liam, Hawk and Pat. Thanks.